Gene Deal and Suge Knight have joined forces, and they're ready to bring Diddy down. In a chilling twist, Gene is now saying Diddy's been secretly working with the FBI for years, feeding them information while hiding his own hand in the murder of Tupac Shakur. But speaking out comes with a price. After going public, Gene was attacked, not by strangers, but by people loyal to Diddy. Now, the threats are real. Gene's not just risking his reputation, he's risking his life. And if what he's saying is true, this could shake the industry to its core.
He's going to go to prison. And if he do, it'll be for something very, very small. It wouldn't be nothing what the people think. I don't think he's going to go nowhere long. And at the same time, you got to look at it. The best witness they had is Keefy D. Keefy D been informant for a very, very long time. And Keefy D is getting ready to go to trial for the murder of Tupac. Keefy D said it, everybody else know it. And Keefy D says the money came from Puffy, to keep Tupac and myself. So if they really wanted Puffy that bad, Keefy D would have cut a deal with them, got on that stand, and broke it down. That'd have been the RICO right there. That'd have been murder for hire right there.
And I got a lot of respect for you, Suge. I got so much respect for you, bro, because when this East Coast, West Coast war could have been shutting down, Pac was living, Big was living, Eric B, Big D, y'all set up there and y'all was gonna set up a meeting. Everybody who had something to do with it was supposed to show up. And Puff refused to. You didn't, brother. You wanted this shit to be over with. Even though you didn't f with Puff, y'all wasn't dealing with each other no more. I remember when you and Pac was in the car behind the House of Blues. You was in the red Rolls Royce, Pac was in the white. I was in the car when Puff rolled up on you and said, yo, Suge, we got any problems out here? And you said, bro, I don't know any problems you got. That was even after Jake was. You said, brother, I don't know any problems you got.
Suge Knight and Gene Deal, they might be the last two men alive who know what really happened the night Tupac was shot. Suge was right there, sitting in the car when the bullets flew. And Gene? He claims he was with Diddy when the whole thing was being planned. Fast forward to September 29th, 2023, nearly 27 years later, and Dwayne Keefy D. Davis is charged in Tupac's murder. But now, Keefy D is flipping the story in newly filed court documents. He points the finger at Diddy, saying Diddy paid him to make the hit happen. He even names the middleman, Eric Von Zip Martin. And the shocking part? It wasn't just Tupac who was supposed to die that night. Diddy allegedly wanted Suge Knight gone too.
So during a December 2008 interview with investigators, that is when Davis allegedly started to spill the beans about his one-time friend, Sean Combs, who he refers to as Puffy. He claims Sean Puffy Combs solicited Mr. Davis to kill Suge Knight and Tupac Shakur for $1 million. Eric Zip Martin, an associate of Puffy Combs, provided Mr. Davis with a gun to exact revenge on Tupac Shakur for the beating Mr. Anderson received. Now, Davis reportedly told the investigators that even though the job had been partially completed and Shakur was killed, neither he nor Anderson ever got paid. He later revealed that he believes Combs had paid the go-between Zip Martin, who he claims kept the money for himself. And he said much of the same thing in a 2009 interview a year later, because according to the motion to dismiss, the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, as far back as 2009, was in possession of the same set of facts that the Clark County District Attorney is now alleging makes Mr. Davis responsible for the Tupac Shakur. The Clark County District Attorney's Office has offered no reason as to why it waited another 14 years to prosecute a case against Mr. Davis.
Just days after Keef D accused Diddy of being involved in Tupac's murder, he was attacked in prison. Think about that. Is it really a coincidence? The moment he names Diddy, the moment he speaks out, He suddenly gets jumped behind bars? It doesn't feel random. Not when you're dealing with powerful names and deadly secrets. Because the deeper this goes, the more dangerous it becomes. And people are starting to get hurt.
An update now on Dwayne Keefe D. Davis. He's charged in the murder of Tupac Shakur. Davis was in court again this morning after a fight with another inmate. Fox 5's Mike Allen walks us through what happened.
Dwayne Davis is answering for a jailhouse brawl. Here's what court records show, along with images from surveillance video released by Las Vegas Justice Court. On December 23rd, Davis was being escorted back into his cell when another inmate, Rockland Hamilton, who's also facing a charge, is standing to the right by a sink in this room. Hamilton walked over to Davis and squared up, looking ready to fight. They started throwing punches and grappling, and the officer escorting Davis called for backup, gave verbal commands too for the inmates to stop fighting.
Suge Knight might be the only person alive who truly knows what happened that night, and he's not holding back. He says Puffy was involved in Tupac's murder. And Gene Deal? He's backing Suge up word for word. Even the cops knew something wasn't right, that Puffy had a hand in it. But he was never indicted. Why? Because he was feeding the feds information. According to Gene, Diddy's been an informant for decades. And on the streets, everybody already knew what kind of man he really was. The power, the secrets, the lies. It's all starting to unravel.
And that caught my attention. You said that Suge, he's the only one who knows who killed Tupac. Why you say that?
Suge was there. Suge was there, and even though you in a hostile situation and you've been and guns is firing out, you're gonna get that glance and that look at the individuals or the people in the car. Like Keefe D said, I spoke to Suge. We know each other from school. So in that time, as you speaking to somebody, you see who is in the car. You see who's in the car. If somebody got enough time to speak to you or say something to you and have a brief conversation, they got enough time to get a glance of who in that car. Now check this out. If they know each other and the windows is down and they spoke to each other, you don't think Suge don't know who did the shooting or who was in there? He said, I'll never say it.
Allegedly, Diddy didn't pull the strings alone. He had help from the inside. Someone within death row records. A traitor. Someone close enough to know Tupac's every move. And trusted enough to never raise suspicion. This double agent blended in with Tupac's circle. Smiling, listening, pretending. But behind the scenes, they were feeding details to the enemy. They gave up the location, the Vegas trip, the car Tupac would ride in, even who'd be sitting beside him. It wasn't just a hit, it was a setup from within.
Shooter, the person who shot Tupac, did you get to see their face? And was this a person that worked for Death Row?
Yeah. What I would say is this. I'm not calling a certain person Judas. Whereas names could go with those people are Judas. I know it was more than one person involved in the assassination. And respectfully, I would say that I gave the husband, I gave the wife, and by the way, they're black people. I stand on my blackness because I am black. So out of respect to them and their project, you the homie, but you gonna have to wait to see what really happened.
If the FBI really wanted Diddy behind bars, they could have done it a long time ago. Let's not forget, he spilled illegal details on live TV with no fear. The feds, they have a 98% conviction rate. Over 30 people testified against him. And yet, Diddy never took the stand. He never had to. Still, he walked away from the most serious charges untouched. This recent conviction, it feels like a performance, a distraction. Because Diddy knows he's gonna get away with everything. And the system is letting it happen.
Answers are there. How could you not say they don't want to see Puffy get life? The FBI is the most powerful people in the world. They're government. They have great prosecution people. Look at the prosecution rate. I think it's maybe 92, 98%. If you was just looking at it, you wouldn't think the prosecutors, as great as they are, that they was really trying to get this man off the streets. But it's still, if I was Puffy, I'd just in time and got out the way. Because if he go in there and do a little time, he was going to feel he paid some debt to society. He'd start off where he left. If he get no time, the street's going to know the deal's been cut. If he get no time, nobody in the industry is going to f with him. It's going to be a bad problem for him because Puffy got to have security 24 hours a day. It ain't Puffy can get out of jail and start his own car up and drive around and live life.
Diddy knows too much. Every secret, every whisper, every buried rumor in the industry, he's heard it all. For years, Diddy and a circle of powerful elites in hip-hop have been pulling strings behind the scenes, controlling the narrative. But that power made him dangerous, even to them. Some of those same elites eventually wanted him gone, and that's why he was arrested. But here's the twist. Diddy didn't go down, because he wasn't just part of the game. He was working both sides. As a criminal informant, the feds still needed him, and that's how he walked free.
A level of being untouchable where he's protected, or is Diddy a target that they'll eventually put all the blame on him and make sure they get away with it free?
I mean, he's definitely going to be the black motherfucker in the bag. Because you gotta realize one thing. That boy's life is dangerous. His life isn't, and he's just not dangerous with the shit they said he was doing, but he's in danger. He know too much. One thing you gotta realize is he probably having a conversation right now with the higher-ups and everybody else to figure out how it's gonna work itself out. Because he know all the secrets. And if he get to run his mouth, it could be a bad look. I look at it like the most important thing is the industry needs to be built over. You have all these executives because somebody was their father, their grandfather, or all these type of stuff, and they don't give people the opportunity to grow and learn. I know when I first started in this business, it wasn't a machine. I had to be the machine. I had to figure out how to get my songs on the radio. Because at that time, they was getting 5%, and they got 10%. Those popping champagne bottles. I went from 95% of the songs you hear on the radio was my songs into 97%.
Gene Deal has been calling out Diddy's lies for years, and now Diddy's had enough. He's not about to risk prison again, not if he can shut Gene up first. And it looks like he's already making moves. Just days ago, Gene was attacked by people tied to Diddy, and sources say this is just the beginning. In a recent video, Gene didn't hold back. He claimed Diddy sent men after him with one goal: to silence him for good. This isn't just a feud anymore. It's a war. And Gene's life is on the line.
It came to light for y'all that this dude wanted me dead way before I came to YouTube. Because I was having meetings with serious dudes in the street. And he refused to sit down. So what did he do? He tell his security team. He didn't tell the NYPD officers. He didn't tell the Department of Correction officers. He didn't tell none of the parole officers or anybody he had working for him that was officers. He told street dudes who had did dirt in the street. When y'all see Gene, y'all do him dirty. Y'all beat him up. He ain't tell him to beat me up. What I look like getting beat up? What a grown man look like, somebody smacking him around, hitting him and all this shit like that. I ain't taking no ass whooping. I ain't took an ass whooping since the fucking doctor spanked me on my fucking ass. I ain't took an ass whooping since my mama and my daddy. When they stopped taking it, I guess I'm got amnesia. I don't know what an ass whooping look like or feel like. What do he look like telling somebody to whoop my ass?
Gene Deal isn't the kind of man who runs from a fight, and unlike Diddy, he's not afraid to get his hands dirty. He's been calling out Diddy's crimes for years, loud, clear, and unshaken. If fear could stop him, it would have done it a long time ago. But Gene's different. He said it himself. He doesn't care what happens to him, as long as he dies speaking the truth. You can't silence a man who's not afraid of death. And right now, Gene is proving that louder than ever.
Who? I said, if you want me to answer questions, do an interview. I got a booking number, then you do an interview. I answer any of your questions. I ain't got no problem of answering anything that you want to know. All you got to do is pay my fee and I'll be there. He said, well, you ain't going to tell me how to get the contact. And as soon as he said that, and he came like he was coming close to me, I took it back to 92. Wu-Tang. Protect your neck. And that's all I'm gonna say. I took it back to that. I took it back to 1992 Wu-Tang. Protect your neck. And he know what I'm talking about. Then when I did that, then next thing you know, a girl came, the guards started coming and stuff like that. And he told the guards, yo, watch the camera. He hit me. That's what he said to the guard. So one guard was like this. One guard got in front of me and I moved. He said, yo, Gene. He said, yo, Gene, because he know me. He said, yo, Gene, you could just knock me down, bro. Just take a couple of days and get up out of here. And so I was leaving. So he ran and got his camera, and then somebody called my name. He called my name like that. I turned around and I just said to him, I said, yo, bro, I'm not that dude that you could just run up on. I'm not that dude that you could say whatever you want to say. I'm a grown man.
Roger Bonds, Diddy's former bodyguard, has stepped forward, and what he's saying changes everything. According to Roger, Diddy ordered his own security to take out Gene Deal. This wasn't a one-time thing. Roger says Diddy has been sending men after Gene since way back in 2008. Because Gene was never just a bodyguard. He was a witness. He saw it all. The parties, the abuse, the control. Gene started speaking out long before the FBI ever launched their case. He saw Diddy intimidate artists, mistreat women, and flex his power when no one was watching. And now, the world's finally listening.
But he was like, yo, if y'all see Gene, I'm telling y'all, man, somebody better punch him in the face. Somebody better do something to him, man. He out here doing this, that, and we'd be like, all right.
Okay, so when was this? Because was Gene doing interviews at this point?
Yeah, we talking like 2008, 2009. Gene was spreading the word. You know, Gene was always bad-mouthing Gene.
Wait, hold on. Vlad TV started in 2008, 2009. YouTube was really early.
No, he wasn't doing YouTube and stuff. He was going around talking a lot of shit. And we all from Harlem. So he was just talking a lot of shit. And it's a small, Harlem is small.
So what was Gene Deal saying during that time? What did you hear?
He basically was talking about Puff and woman that was going on with him and Kim. Puff being gay, you know, with him and Usher, shit like that. He was talking the same shit that he's talking now on a major scale, but he was spreading it around Harlem.
Diddy operates from the shadows. Even as he allegedly sends men after Gene Deal, he's standing in court, trying to play the victim. Reports say he's planning to check into rehab, claiming he needs therapy for his mental health. He wants the world to believe that all the abuse, all the manipulation came from a troubled mind, that it wasn't really him. But let's be honest, mental health doesn't turn someone into a monster. This isn't about healing. It's about damage control, and nobody's buying it.
Deal, happy to have you back on the platform, man. October 3rd, man, we're gonna find out if Diddy do time or not. But I do want to ask you, how you feel about this program that he enrolled into?
Well, the programs that they put him in is because of he's getting close to release, or he may be released. So the Bureau of Prisons for the federal government has to give him a program based on his crime that he committed. You know what I'm saying? He did commit a crime. He is going to jail for committing a crime, but the time is going to be based on his pre-sentence report. So now, in the pre-sentence report that the probation officer, the federal probation officer do, they go by the history. If he had any criminal history, they go by the criminal history. They go by the history, the crime. They go by what the victim statements and all that, and they do this report that they submit to the judge. And submitting that report to the judge is gonna have what they believe based on the guidelines of the prison system, the guidelines of the correctional sets up based on what the time he'll do based on the crime. Now, the crime, and let's get this straight, the crime that he committed is based on the Mann Act. And that ranged anywhere from probably 22 to 54 months. I don't give a flying F about it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just a facade. It's some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? He had enough money way before he got to jail. If he wanted to do something to get himself right, to get off drugs, he could have got the best doctors. You understand? He could have gotten the best treatment facility. If he wanted to stop beating women, he could have got some psychological help. He could have bought the best that money could buy. So all this shit is just to get his sorry ass out to jail. And 9 times out of 10,
This rehab move, it's a complete sham. Diddy's not looking for healing, he's looking for sympathy. It's the same game every criminal plays right before sentencing. Check into rehab, say you've changed, hope the judge believes it. But Diddy isn't fooling anyone. Bad mental health doesn't make you destroy lives for decades. It doesn't excuse abuse, control, or fear. He's not sorry, he just wants out. And he'll say whatever it takes to make that happen. Gene isn't afraid of Diddy, not now, not ever. He was Diddy's bodyguard. Diddy needed his protection, not the other way around. Even before the trial began, Diddy was already trying to shut him up. Gene got calls from people close to Diddy, even while Diddy sat behind bars. They told him Diddy was willing to pay for his silence. And if money didn't work, they'd find another way. Gene spent over a decade by Diddy's side. He saw the power, the cruelty, the manipulation. He knows exactly what Diddy is capable of. And still, he chose to speak.
worry about somebody that I bodyguard. And God knows I could bodyguard myself with his blessings. I could bodyguard myself with his blessings, bro. I'm not worried about that. Nothing beats an ambush, and I know that. But I'm not worried about his shit. People just need to talk about something. They want to have something to say, man. Oh, Gene gotta be worried, so like that. So, shouldn't I have been worried when he was out here on the street? When he was out here on the street, I should have been worried.
Tried to silence you or tried to get you to stop talking about him.
This is relayed to me by Kirk Burrows. This guy is like this with Diddy. You seen him on Drink Champs with him. You see him walking the streets in Miami with him, the whole 9 yards. So I'm saying to him, what does he want to talk to me for? He ain't got nothing to say to me. He said, yo, Gene, he said enough is enough. You know what I'm saying? Enough is enough to what? And I told Kirk Burrows, yo, if he wanted, I said, he don't want to talk to me for himself. He wanted to talk to me for Diddy. And I ain't got nothing to say to him. He ain't said enough to Wolf's mother when he cursed out and told her all kinds of. Did he say enough to Big's mother? What do you mean enough is enough? And that's how that conversation went.
How did you feel about it after you were done?
I felt that, like, cause they must have got at Kirk Burrows, cause Kirk called me with the bullshit. Yo, you gotta fix that. You know this, man. God, excuse me. Listen here, bro. I don't care nothing about none of these industry cats and what they do and how they do it. That's their business. You understand? I don't tell a man how to screw his wife and how to spend his money. You don't tell me what I gotta do with my time. Point blank.
Do you feel like at some point Diddy could try to come after you or do something, being that he's went after a lot of people, he's did a lot of stuff, as you know about.
Cam, let me tell you something, man.
Diddy wanted something done to Gene Deal, and here's how we know. Diddy might scare the world with his money and power, but not Gene. Gene spent over a decade by his side, protecting him. He saw the truth up close, and now he calls Diddy what he really is, a coward who hides behind others and never fights his own battles. Gene isn't scared. He's not running. He's not hiding. He's standing tall, out in the open, daring Diddy to try something. Because this time, Gene's ready. Gene Deal is putting everything on the line to expose the darkness hiding behind Diddy's fame. And from behind bars, Suge Knight is backing him every step of the way. Diddy still has the money. He still has the power. And yes, he still has the system protecting him. But there's one thing he's lost: control over the truth. The narrative is slipping from his hands, and now the world is watching. What do you think Diddy's hiding? And more importantly, will Gene Deal survive long enough to tell the whole story?